Thanks to the folks who led the way. Thanks to the folks, let us thank them every day.
Welcome to the Toones Show. My name is Dave Paltz, and today is one of my Inspirational Lives shows, and it's dedicated to Dorothy Parker. I came to know about Dorothy Parker through a post on Facebook by a friend. She was an American poet and author, and throughout the mid-19th century, she was a strong activist for civil rights. She was born much earlier than I thought for somebody being so active in the civil rights movement. She was born in 1893, and she lived till 1967. Unfortunately, in 1967, she died alone with almost nothing to her name. She was born into a family of privilege, the Rothschild family, but she spent most of her life identifying with the less privileged, and that's what later on led her to be active in the civil rights movement. There's a pretty interesting story that she tells about when she was a child of just 8 years old. She remembers the day when she stood at a window during a blizzard, watching the laborers dig through the snow with their bare hands turn purple from the cold. And behind her, her rich aunt looked on and said, "Isn't it wonderful? All those men have worked." Dorothy didn't answer, but she remembered that moment for the rest of her life. She saw even then that some people were forced to suffer so others could feel virtuous for noticing it. That truth stayed with her, and it drove everything that came after. That was a quote from the repost on Facebook, and I thought it was important to set up the whole story that I'm going to tell today about Dorothy Parker. I'm going to start off with a fresh tune now that's called Thanks to the Folks, that you heard a little segment of in the opening of the show. But it was my way to say thanks, and I often played this in the schools that I taught. Kids would really get into singing it. It's called Thanks to the Folks.
Thanks to the folks who led the way. Thanks to the folks, let us thank them every day. Open the doors when the doors were locked. Told the truth when the truth was mocked. Let us always remember mustn't forget that we listen very carefully and say what we must. Thanks to the folks who took the risk. What they taught us we mustn't miss. To lend a hand, to plant the seed of love and giving is what the world needs. We may only be a single being, but we must try and be all that we can be. The way we live will speak much louder for the things we want to say. Thanks to the folks who led the way. Thanks to the folks, let us thank them every day. In our effort to do what's right, let us try with all our might. Thanks to the folks. Thanks to the folks. Thanks to the folks. Thanks to the folks. Let us thank them every day.
Well, Dorothy had kind of a privileged education from being from an upper middle class family. She observed a lot, wrote some important things, and by the time she was 30, she was one of the most famous writers in America. She wrote for The New Yorker, and she was also a screenwriter in Hollywood and would later earn 2 Academy Award nominations. Her one-liners were well recognized at the time. She was probably the fiercest wit of the Algonquin Round Table group, which was a group of writers and critics and actors that would meet in New York City regularly. By 1936, things were really changing in the world, and she was really affected by the journalists and refugees who had fled Nazi Germany and were sharing stories of arrest and disappearances and terror and just overall organized brutality. And she started to get a grasp of what she wanted to write and be a part of the rest of her life. Within months of hearing these stories, she helped to launch the Hollywood Anti-Nazi League, which brought together actors, screenwriters, directors, and artists around one urgent mission: make America pay attention before it was too late. Unfortunately, at that point, Hollywood did want to listen. The studio bosses brushed her off, and when she spoke publicly about the Nazi violence, some dismissed her as unstable or a drunk. A woman that forceful, that emotional, that relentless, surely she had to be overreacting. She refused to quit. This next fresh tune is called Auschwitz Didn't Fall from the Sky.
Auschwitz didn't fall from the sky. It came from inside. Evil climbs inch by inch. The shadows march step by step, with gardens overgrowing from lies that were told. If love is strangled out, what's it all about? Those who take the king's invite to kill the ones that they call them will find themselves buried beneath the walls of hate that cannot stand. The battle continues. It's simply up to us to raise our voices, to share our love. Join in and sing. Today's our day. Hallelujah, together we can find a better way. We can find a better way. We can find a better way.
In 1937, she traveled to Spain, where the fascist forces were trying to destroy a democratic government, while much of the world stood by. She moved through the bombed-out towns and visited the refugee camps. She later filed reports from the wreckage, begging the world to look at what was happening. When she returned to America, she would later find out that the FBI had opened a file on her, and then another, and another. By the end, they had compiled more than 1,000 pages tracking her speeches, donations, meetings, and even the people she knew. The government was documenting her every move. The woman who had tried to warn about fascism now was the suspect. When Pearl Harbor happened, and the United States entered the war, which she had predicted 5 years earlier, she applied for a passport so she could cover the conflict as a journalist. She was denied. By then, the government viewed her as a threat. So much for her efforts to bring to light what was going on. She wasn't very well rewarded, was she? Because she was so recognized as a poet, I thought this next fresh tune would be a good one to share with you. It's called The Poet's Spirit. A spiral path, a winding channel to keep in touch, a kind reminder, a loving ring is wedded with a ceremony. She sings, she gives the mystery from whence it's come, stands now revealed, a secret once. The rhymer speaks infinity, now jars our eyes to let us see. The poet's verse spins minds around and clarify, restore your song. Intensely conscious of what's now seen, the poet's spirit now lets you be. Now let you be a hope nearly lost, once thought bygone, stands again with love. The poet's breath, a breeze to renew, refreshed your voice to sing your tune. Sing your song, don't be dismayed. Discordant notes will fade away. Be who you are, don't be afraid. Your love is strong, she'll lead the way. Well, Dorothy Parker's eventful life did not wind down after that. In 1950, Joe McCarthy's Blacklist had Dorothy's name on it. Her name also appeared in Red Channels, the notorious publication that branded entertainment figures as suspect communists. No hearing, no proof, no defense. Just a name printed on a page. Here was the same Dorothy Parker who had co-written A Star is Born, worked with Hitchcock, and earned 2 Oscar nominations. Suddenly she could not get hired. The same industry who had ignored her warnings about Hitler now pointed to those warnings as evidence that she was dangerous. Her real offense was simple. She was correct about the threats of fascism. I'm sure if Dorothy Parker was alive today, she'd encourage us all, just do what you can do. And that's the name of the next fresh tune. Just do what you can do. Just do what you can. Just let your love be your friend. When you know just who you are, your life will be your love. Your life will become the vision that you saw long ago. You strive to see the sunlight that finally brought you home. You were always searching for love.
reach out and lend our hand. It's the same hand that gave you love, now gives you peace of mind. Your life became the vision that you saw long ago. You strive to see the sunlight that finally brought you home. You were always searching for love. You were always digging for love. You were always thinking of love. And now love sings to you. Sings to you. Sings to you.
Well, after the attacks made on her from being on the blacklist in the early 1950s, she ended up living for the next 17 years very quietly in a New York hotel room. Her career was over, her money was disappearing, her many friends were now gone, scattered, aged, or dead. She wrote when she managed to and drank more than she should have. And in 1967, she died alone. She was 73, but she had left something for Martin Luther King. What money she had left, she wanted to leave to him, but Dr. King was assassinated less than a year after Parker died. Under the terms of her will, her estate then passed directly to the NAACP. It's kind of nice to know that every time someone buys her books or watches a film that she helped write, that the money continues going to the fight for civil rights. A woman who died nearly 60 years ago, mocked as historical, condemned as an un-American, is still helping to fund justice long after her death. She was ahead of her time again and again and again, and every time the world punished her for seeing clearly too soon. She kept telling the truth anyway, and even now, she's part of the fight. Thank you, Dorothy Parker.
May you rest in peace. 'Cause in the life you live, may you rest in peace, surrounded by all the love you gave. As we say our goodbyes, know your love still lives within our lives. May you rest in peace. Each of us that loved you know what you gave to us, and we will give it out to others as you gave it out to us. May you rest in peace. May your love live on forever, and our memories never rest. And may these tears that run so freely wash away our grief, so we can sing more clearly a song of love. May you rest in peace. May you rest in peace. As in the life you live, may you rest in peace, surrounded by all the love you gave. As we say our goodbyes, know your love still lives within our lives. May you rest in peace, may you rest in peace, may you rest in peace.
You're listening to the Fresh Toones Show right here on Rochester Free Radio, WRFZ 106.3 FM. Today's show's been one of my Inspirational Lives shows dedicated to Dorothy Parker. And I guess in the long run, the most important thing she would tell us is work towards the world that you want to live in. Since I shared a song earlier today on the show with a group of kids from an after-school program singing this song with me, I'm going to play another one of those songs that we ended up doing an animation for. Both of the animations are up on Dave's Fresh Tunes on YouTube, and that's Dave's Fresh Tunes, and Tunes has 2 O's, not a U. If you want to check out the animated pieces the kids do to these songs. This song is called The World We Want to Live In.
World we want to live in is changing every day. It's up to us and how we choose to live that'll decide which way she goes. Closely every day to hear what we've got to say. If we just think it out, we can turn this world about. 'Cause this world is changing every day, and it's up to us to play our part. We may not paint a masterpiece. Every kind word paints a picture too. So whether it be work or play, let us live our lives today as the folks we want to be, to change the world that we see. The world we want to live in is changing every day. It's up to us and how we choose to live that'll decide which way she goes. 'Cause she listens closely every day to hear what we've got to say. If we just think it out, we can turn this world about. 'Cause the world we want to live in is changing every day. It's up to us and how we choose to live that'll decide which way she goes. We'll decide which way we go.
Well, that's it for the Fresh Toones Show today. I was really glad to have the opportunity to share Dorothy Parker's story. I hope if you've never heard of her before, you check out her writings, her poetry, and some of her books. She had quite the life, and she had a lot to say. If we pay a little attention to what she had to share, then maybe we can go out there and do something similar, or even in our small way, do something that helps to make this world a little bit better. I hope you all have a great week. Fight the good fight. Be who you are. Have fun while you're doing it. So long now. Bye.
Thanks to the folks who led the way. Thanks to the folks, let us thank them every day.